strategy construction. So how do you put all of this together to build your strategy? First of all, I think you all will agree that you will appreciate that those stats are incredible stats to have. Is that right to say? Yeah, all of you will agree on that. But how do you put it all together? How do you make the car? I'll just give you a very simple framework. The first thing is, just when you look at and select those dots, which are phase one moves, right, in alignment with the trend. That's the first thing. My mentor used to tell me this for many years, but I never used to listen to him. And I was looking to get every kind of move out there, right? I learned it the hard way. I got burned quite a lot of times. And then I thought, you know what, let's do the phase one. Let's listen to what this guy is saying. And it was much, much better in terms of the stats and the open equity and everything just improved. The second thing is use your initial stop loss for at least 90% of the maximum adverse excursion. And then use the trailing stop loss, get tighter after X amount of time, which you get from the data, which I showed you as well. And then finally, the target, you can choose between 80, 50, or 20% open equity, okay? And there you got your 3 strategies in your strategy portfolio that you can create based on different diversification of instruments to minimize your overall equity portfolio drawdown, okay? So those are the things, but what you got to do now, the work that you got to do, a little bit of work that you got to do, you got to test in terms of how your total gross profit and your total gross loss comes about so that your profit factor and your reliability is. This is where a bit more work is required. And your whole objective is to minimize the drawdown, right? It's the drawdown that sucks our energy and disrupts our psychology, okay? The final part is, as I already said, this objective, minimize it. The final part is very important. I didn't have much time, but hopefully Gavin will get a point to talk on this, is when the whole entire framework, what we saw, when you combine it using volume, right? Using the very well-known methodology, which has been going for over 50, 60 years, the VSA methodology, which was about the same time that our framework was developed by the quant traders. In fact, I tell Gavin and his team a lot of times that most of the stuff we talk and they talk is very similar. The only difference, though, is our guys just quantified it and put it into a table. Other than that, it's pretty much similar. All the whole thinking and understanding and all that terminologies may change, but the entire framework is very similar. But when you combine the volume, what happens is we can select those runners better, which can run a much larger distance. That's the whole idea. And that's where your reliability, profit factor, and drawdown all improves, which we found in all our testing. And that's Gavin Dyer. You guys can talk to him as well later on during the drinks as well, more on that. I think the final thing, I just wanted to see if I can add that in. It's quite a fun thing. Let's see who gets, if you all get this right, we're happy to send this book over to you, the New Market Visits, okay? Just going to show 2 questions. Let's see who gets it right. And then that is it. And then we can end off. Don't want to take up too much of the beer time, right? You guys will get angry. Right, so let's go for it. Let's do 2 questions. What's the first step to deriving the 3 stats validity? And name 2 out of 3 stats which you can derive from the SMI or the smart money framework. Rob, yeah, go for it.
Tops and bottoms.
Spot on.
And
2 of the 3 stats.
also determine maximum excursion.
Very good. Yeah, and 1 more stat.
It knows the likelihood for the end of a run.
Correct, the open equity, right? Open equity. Let's give it a round for Rob. Awesome. I think that brings me to the end, I believe. I think these examples, I think we can take a look at them later. This is just showing you some examples, what we've taken in the past. Some losses, some wins. And we got a whole, and we tracked this all in real time. It's just not just showing you just in hindsight, just show you this in a glance, 1 second job. We can talk about this later and I'll take questions in. But we analyze all this in real time to see how the performance is happening and whether the framework is happening. So this is our 2022 results on the 3 strategies that we designed, which looks at, I was just showing this before, our three strategies that we're doing, we ended up last year at 73.34%. Last year was a right in the park. This year isn't. I'll show you the results for this year also. But we just don't punch all this into just a spreadsheet, but you can see every single trade, every single win, every single loss, we keep analyzing it according to the framework, how it's working. Every single tab is based on each of the strategies, right? And then finally it's accumulated onto this one, what you're seeing over here. So each of the ones on the left is the strategy based on all open equity principle and cycle framework. And that's how we looked at it. We only had a big drawdown in November. Other than that, it was a smooth ride. Whereas this year, I think we altered the framework a little bit. Isn't that great? We're just about 5%. We pulled out of a big drawdown. I'll show you 2023 here. So you see, we were quite a little bit in drawdown until May, minus 11.55, big one. We pulled up minus 4.24, and then we brought it up to 8.03, okay? September, a bit of drawdown. So far, we're still up about 4%. But this strategy didn't really perform. That's how we keep measuring our maximum drawdowns. The most important thing as a professional is always to look at your maximum drawdowns. Know that in your fingertips and know when to stop your strategy and review it. It's so critical because or else you will lose back your profits. You see, or else we will lose back all the big runs that we had in 2022. So we are very, very aware of that. So you got to know all those numbers and everything. So very professional here. In fact, when we were making all these profits last year, we were not even thinking about the profits. We're saying, okay, that's all good, but let me just keep analyzing, keep an eye on the drawdowns and how can it spread itself out the following year. That's what you got to keep thinking as a professional, right? If you want to scale up. I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, this is the cumulative performance over the last 10, 12 years. We had a really nice shoot up last year. I think that's that over there. End off of this slide. And that is it, guys. That's the end of the presentation. Three things again. By now, you should know the smart money framework, the three stats that we've gone through and how to use it in strategy construction. Thank you.
If you want to get notified every time we put a video up, especially on our live trading update videos, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications icon. This will get the YouTube algos to kick in and for you to join us in our mission to spread the truth of trading further so that traders like you can benefit from our videos to trade like a master, achieve consistent performance, and change lives.